Welcome to the Being Curious Show. I'm Brian Mariani, founder of No Shift Own.
And I'm Kelly Wagner, publisher of Edge Magazine. Our show is about curiously connecting teachers and seekers on a wide range of topics in a safe space. Few topics will be off limits, and we have some amazing guests to share with you.
Our intention is that our conversations will spark your own curiosity to create a life that lights you up and inspires you to be kind, thoughtful, open-minded to yourself and others.
So, Brian, what are you curious about today?
Hello, everybody. Hello. It is Kelly from the Being Curious Show. Hey, Brett, how are you today?
I'm all right. How about you?
Where is Brian?
I believe he is on assignment for today's show.
Ooh, well, that's okay. Hey, everybody, Brian's on assignment. Sounds so official. So we are in studio today. I love when we get to have so Brian's out of Boston, and I love when we get to have beautiful, amazing. I'm already feeling the sparkles in the room, by the way, guests and in studio, and I'm just really, really excited. A little bit for everybody. This is the Being Curious Show. You can check us out every Sunday at noon. We are part of the Sunday Shine Block at AM 950, and also we're on all the podcast platforms here, there, and everywhere. So check us out. Listen to us. We have over 100 shows in the can, and we get to just interview all these amazing people. So please check us out and subscribe and like and do all that kind of stuff. I don't do that enough. So here. Also, Edge Magazine. And I'm just dropping stuff. Oh, my God, that's so embarrassing. This is the old issue. The new one is actually due from the printer today. So we're really excited. And little self-promo on that. So I'm Kelly without Brian, but I've got DJ Brett. And we have Chanda Parkinson with us today.
I did
it. Okay, everybody knows that listens to the show, I cannot say Sam Smith right. You laughed at me pre-show when I said that. I was like, oh, I do it. Right? And I don't know if it's because of all the dimensions I'm in or what right.
You're not in this plane of existence most of the time, correct?
Most of the time. No, I'm not. And it's but I've also read and studied that if you want to give someone the highest compliment, say their name right.
Yeah.
And I don't mean it that way. I mean, I don't mean it in a bad way.
Understood.
Just kind of like.
But I think it also matters that you just take a minute to go, I think I'm going to mess this up. Can you remind me? That's respectful. So even if you don't remember the person's name, if you pause and you know what I'm saying?
I adore you on every level.
Yes.
Thank you. You just gave me permission.
I get you. I get it.
Thank you. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Super happy to be here,
Isn't
Kelly.
this fun?
Yeah.
This took a little bit to get us in studio together.
And timing is everything, and the universe aligned, and boom, here we are.
And here we are. Okay. Welcome. Who are you? What are you curious about? Oh my gosh, all the beautiful sparkles around you. I'm so excited about our time together today.
Thank you. I'm Chanda Parkinson. I am a psychic. I'm an author. I'm a mother. I'm an activist. I'm a spiritual seeker.
Oh, in that order?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I'm just kidding. There's no order. You don't need to put order.
I think it's all kind of smooshed together in there somewhere. Yeah. And recently discovering all sorts of interesting magical practices. I'm a ritualist. I'm an educator. Oh my gosh, full. Yeah. And what am I curious about? Oh my gosh, well, curiosity is my middle name, I would say. I have 4 planets in Gemini, so curiosity is a thing. It's always been a thing ever since I was a kid. But I would say the things that I'm thinking about and curious about right now, I would say most importantly or most urgently is how we connect in and tap our own inner power to create magic in the world. How we tap our own inner power, how we presence ourselves in this tangible world to create and bring to us what it is that we want in the world and heal as well. That's what I'm curious about. I'm thinking a lot about magical practices lately.
I'm in the middle of taking a magic class with Antonia.
Are you?
From the UK. It is amazing.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, heck
Divine
yeah.
Empowerment. I think she's going to be on the show in a couple weeks. Hello, Antonia. So when you're, and it was interesting. I was, so as we are trying to take our show, our podcast to the next level, I try to watch I don't watch a lot of TV because I'm just buzzing around all the time. But I'm watching, like, even Oprah. Like, Oprah's crazy in her own beautiful, amazing, powerful Oprah way, right? But watching that lady on camera and how she puts people at ease, how she listens so presently, and I think that's one thing that I'm normally pretty good at. But she looks at you and is like, "I see you." I've heard that like Bill Clinton is the same way, that you can be in a room of thousands of people and he makes eye contact with you, and you feel seen.
That's a form of magic, right?
That's a form of magic, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm watching Joe Rogan last night, and who was he interviewing? He was interviewing Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and they were
What?
right. And he was talking about Under the Bridge, that song that he did, and it was started out as a poem that he had in the back of his journal that he wasn't going to show the band.
Yeah.
And he was talking to Rick Rubin, and Rick Rubin is a very well known producer. I'd love to get him on the show. Hello, Rick. I'm just kidding. No, actually. And they were talking about how he captures and magic, and how so Anthony had this like his little journal, and he was doing this, and Rick was like, "Read that poem to me." And he's like, no, it's kind of heartfelt, it's just a poem. And Anthony was like, "No, I don't want to do it." And Rick was like, "Get the poem out or I'm going to read it." Ooh. So he started to read it. And Rick was like, "That's your song. That is going to be your song." And he's like, "Take it to the guys, do it." And he just took this magic. And Anthony was like, and he was like, fast forward 25 years. And he's like, "I'm on Sunset Boulevard, and there's this guy that was like this Hell's Angel. And he was on his motorcycle, and he was cranking, and he was listening to Under the Bridge. And Anthony was in the car next, and he was watching this big biker having this emotional moment, so excited listeing to his magic." So thank you very much for introducing magic today.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that a fun story?
I just
like
get
right?
goosebumps.
So I'm like, how do we capture the magic? Like, how do we gravitate towards the magic? How do we attract the magic?
Yeah, and I feel like with magic in particular, I feel like it's interesting how you can internalize a thing, or you can spend time concentrating on something using tools. And then to me, it's like a process of sort of like then surrendering. Like I've done the thing, I presence myself, I got in my heart, I'm feeling it, like I'm in my vibe, I'm in my soul, I'm rocking it. And then, boom, I have to let it go. Because then what happens after that, just aligning with my highest good. And so it's not even for me like about the outcome.
Yeah.
Because outcomes are so like, we can't even fathom what might be concocting behind the scenes on our behalf. We can't fathom it. And if we try to get in there and mess with it as human beings, that's what I think a lot about. It's like, I'm a control freak. I'm a very busy mother. I have to keep the ship running.
Do a call out to your kids.
Hi, kids. I love you, Mia. I love you, Dylan. I love you, Jacob. And so...
They're like, my mom just geeked out on radio. I'm just kidding. They're super proud of you.
Big heart, yeah. I love how getting to that moment where you can actually release the need to sort of like orchestrate. As human beings, we think we need to do that. We need to orchestrate, control. We don't know like what healing opportunities, what synchronicities, what opportunities, what might come to us just as out of the willingness to put ourselves in something. And I'm not talking about even like a spell. I'm talking about the ways in which we as spiritual path walkers craft and create all sorts of ritual experience. It doesn't matter to me what it is, whether it's your Tai Chi or your yoga or your whatever practices, your psychic development practices, your meditations, what it is that you presence yourself in. Staying open and seeing what comes of that. So I'm really like reflecting on that awesome power of our ability to tap magic inside of us. We're the vessels. Yeah.
And so many people are in fear.
Mm-hmm.
So many people went into, and I don't want to just say it's like life pre-COVID, life after COVID, but I think a lot of people, wherever you are in the world, you had your practices, you had your cadence, you had your belief system. And then we went through that as a society and a world. And it kind of went, right? Yeah. And it made you, if you were really fearful about something, you really leaned into fear. And if you were really joyous, you found ways to create joy, right? Some people are the half glass full and some are the half glass empty. I'm married to Eeyore. Hello, Steve. I love you. You know I'm saying this. And there's a little rain cloud that follows my husband all the time. And today, before we were coming to the studio, I told him, I was like, I just want you to discover the everyday joy. I just want you are beautiful, you are amazing. He is a powerful artist that is, if he doesn't get something right on the first time, he feels, and it goes back to childhood where his mother would get mad at him for getting an A-. And I'm like, dude, I was happy with a B. My parents were throwing parties for B's, but his mom would be like, oh, you got 3 questions wrong. If you just would have gotten, it was just that. So he's programmed in it. Yep. And it's just finding that joy. And what I'm getting from you and from the book, by the way, I'm going to show this in a moment, one of her 4 books that she has, just the magic and the joy and how do we discover it? How do we play with it?
Can I say something about fear too? Because I feel like let's not be afraid of fear. I know it's like one of those things. It's like, okay. I truly believe everything that we go through as human beings it can have a purpose. There's a purpose. So can we use fear as a tool? Can we look at it? Can we befriend it? Can we utilize it? I'm a really bright soul, but I also have an interesting, darker, deep, really super dark side Pluto 12th house stuff going on in my astrological chart. And so I think I made a decision a long time ago, maybe entering my 40s. I wasn't going to be afraid anymore of depths of feeling and triggered moments and things that were happening to me. And so fear has a place. And if we can embrace it and we can walk into it and we can use it as a teacher and a tool, there's even magic there. There's even something to learn from there.
Okay, you guys, you heard it here first. Okay, you are, and you gave beautiful how you described yourself at the top of the show, but you are an author and you are a psychic. Yeah. And as it takes one to know one, how did you unpack your gifts and abilities? When and my follow-up question is, you truly believe that everybody is psychic, and I tell people that all the time. We just dial into our gifts and abilities differently. Some people are amazing trial lawyers. Some people are amazing accountants. Those are just as magical gifts as what you do, right? It's just a different frequency. It's just a different gift and ability. It's another tool in your toolbox that you get out. People that can just do mathematical equations and this. I look at them and I'm like, I'm still up there, and they're down here figuring out the world's problems. So tell me about
You just said mathematical equations, and I think I froze,
did.
In paralysis. What are we talking about right now?
Right. And other people would be like, I got this.
I got it. No problem. Numbers.
Where's the calculator? Yeah. My daughter asked me the other day, when am I going to use algebra in life? And I said, I don't.
To be honest. Psst.
Yeah. Just get through the class. There might be a new way of thinking. That's it. That's all I got for you. And she looked at me and she wanted me to be this long. I'm like, no, you don't get that.
No purpose-filled parental advice coming here.
Not right here.
It's an interesting story, how I came to this. And the short version is that I really didn't know anything about any of this, and nor did I really have an interest. It kind of found me.
Sure.
And so, as often happens, I was living in Boston. I experienced some grief, and with the loss of some family members in the late 90s, it set me on a seeking journey. What happens when we die? I wasn't comfortable anymore with what society or my, church was telling me about what happens when we die. I knew there was something else.
You're like, bullshit.
I knew there was something.
There's something else.
It was bullshit. I knew there was something more.
Yeah.
And so seeking, going into spiritualist temples, talking to spiritual people, meeting with a medium, it just peeled back a layer and I knew I was home. So then I just devoted myself to learning about all of the things, and this is interesting and kind of embarrassing, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is a truth-telling moment. But I spent an ungodly amount of time in meditation trying to have an astral experience, like an out-of-body experience.
Okay.
Because I thought, okay, if I get out of my body, then I'll see what it feels like when our soul leaves our body. That was my very limited spiritual understanding of it.
How did that go?
Did not happen.
just checking.
It didn't happen. But what did happen instead, by accident, was that I started to make contact with what I believed to be my loved ones crossed over. I was having really warm, lovely experiences and dreams and connecting with those loved ones. They were visiting me, which was a total shock. And also like having moments of just really crisp awareness and clarity about the people that were in my life. And when I shared those things with them, they were like, how do you know that? Where did that come from? So it was kind of a backwards process. I didn't like go, yes, I want to learn about being a psychic. It was like, oh, shit, what's happening? Now I need to figure it out. And then I backpedaled and tried to figure out what was happening. And I'm an introverted person. And so I knew at some point I wanted to create a process for other people like me who are having an experience or going through a thing that didn't know what to do with any of that. And to be able to be on a solitary journey of exploration. And so that's where the book came from. Yeah.
So Exhibit A, you teed that one up beautifully. Well, it also unpacks what you were saying about rather than focusing on the outcome and the destination, but that journey. And you were having this and you're like, some people call it a squirrel moment, but it's like,
what
right?
happened? And suddenly there we go.
So this is Chanda's first book. Chanda.
You did it. Yeah.
I pivoted and then I came back, right?
You got it.
And it was interesting. I received this. So let's just do a little call out to our friends at Llewellyn because they are amazing.
I love them.
Hello.
I love them so much.
So I work
Thank
with
you, Amy.
Marcus.
Thank you, Marcus.
There
Thank
we
you,
go.
Leah. Thank you, all of you.
And actually, just in true transparency, everybody, we're prepping for the interview, and she's like, "Look at that cover! Isn't this cover just amazing?" And I'm like, "It is
so delicious.
It captures the book.
Yeah.
So the graphic designer at Llewellyn that did this, nice job. So I'm showing the book in its true form because it has a dollar bill as a bookmark, and then I have the press sheet from Llewellyn. And by the way, Llewellyn does the best press sheets. By the way, it's super nice. I'm not like working for Llewellyn. I'm just like it's but in my world because I get sent a lot of books.
Sure.
And it's just really nice when I can get that snapshot because then I know if I really want to dive deep or not.
Yes, they're good at keeping us organized.
They're really good at keeping us organized. But this book, and actually I was in the bathtub last night and I was chapter 13. Yeah, it was really, really great. And I want to talk to you about the psychic tools that you talk about in here because the next edition of Edge magazine is going to be practical and essential spiritual tools. So we're definitely going to get you in for that. And I was watching this meditation about, it was getting all the chakras aligned and to see at chakra 1, the red ball, see the clearing, and then you say that mantra and you were like, don't discredit this one. It seems simple, but powerful. And I was able to do it very, very quickly and dial in with it. And I'm like, oh, that's what she's saying with that. That is fantastic. So tell us a little bit more about your first book, Meditations for Psychic Development, because it's easy to read, it's easy to digest, it's easy to use. Ergo, all my craziness in it.
Well, it's really based on a very, very simple philosophy. My philosophy for psychic development in general is if you create the right conditions, the conditions for your natural gifts to appear and present, just like it happened for me. I was obviously creating the right conditions, even though I didn't know what the goal was, ultimately. You can then expand from there. And so this book is packed with exercises, meditations, primarily because I feel like meditation in itself just naturally, automatically creates the right conditions. It puts you in a zone so that your channel can open.
And meditations, everybody. Now, you're talking to the hummingbird that was in her 11th yoga class before I could get on the mat?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was horrible. Meditations can be
Anything.
a minute
they
of just
can be,
quiet.
yes.
It doesn't mean that you have to go to Sedona
No.
and go to find a vortex, which, by the way, I just did. It was really fun. But you don't have to go do these long ceremonial things to be able
Find
to
a
have...
park, sit in your car on a lunch break. You know, you can do it at work. You can do it at home. You can do it in your car. You can, don't make it complicated. This is supposed to be something that works for us. And we're busy people. We're busy humans. But if we carve out a little space every day, you can really make it work and make it practical and functional.
Yeah. So I highly recommend it. Again, Meditations for Psychic Development, practical exercises to awaken your sixth sense. Great tool. But not only it's not for beginner, medium, or expert. It's just a great tool to have and a great
heck
manual.
Yes. If you're like, I know nothing to like, I just want to brush up or review. This is a great book for that, for people of all levels, yeah.
It gives you little just moments of, I could try that versus that. Or something that I work with is, I see with actually a lot of the clients that I work with, is that their third eye, they have Vaseline on it. So
that's a cool image.
Right? Because Vaseline, it's clear, it's sticky, but but what you would see through Vaseline is so different than a dirty window I'm like, okay, let's get the Vaseline off, and once we can clear that Vaseline, then how do you but Vaseline on dry skin is also nourishing. So
Yes.
I mean, so there's all these different little things for it.
True.
You
Yeah,
know.
and in the book, that's so funny because I talk about the lens of your third eye. Yeah, just similarly like that, but it's like the lens of a camera, or like if you're watching a movie through the lens of your third eye. That's oftentimes how the images can come to you. But the beauty of the third eye is you also don't have to be a seer to be psychic, because your third eye allows you to tap into universal forces of the universe and to receive through whatever your sixth sense points to, whether it's feeling, whether it's seeing, whether it's knowing, your inner knowing, or hearing. It doesn't have to be seeing. So being psychic doesn't mean being a seer. It means that you are capable of receiving through your sixth sense, through extrasensory perception, all sorts of interesting information. And the feedback is how your body works as a compass. That's it. That's how your body works, and everybody's different.
That's beautifully said. Because I think some people are like, I just want to see colors, or I just want to see, and it's like,
it doesn't work that way for everybody,
right?
And that's totally fine. Doesn't mean it's failing. Yeah.
Okay, so you were a guest author on your second book called The Secret Psychic. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Great book, especially for those of you that are sort of like on the fence for like, I know I have gifts, I know I have abilities. I kind of want to talk about it with the other people in my life, but I don't know how to start. I don't know how to talk about it. I don't know how to approach these conversations. This is like the gentle book that will kind of coax you out of your shell. Yeah, for sure. It's a wonderful book. The experts that Angela Wicks, the author, interviewed are phenomenal. They give such wise advice and tips for people who are just like on the cusp of wanting to be like, here I am, world. I have these gifts and abilities, and I want to start to talk about it, be more authentic and genuine.
That's fantastic. And then Finding Your Calm was just released a couple of weeks ago.
I'm just getting all sorts of warm fuzzies thinking about this book right now because I just finished reading it, and the authors are phenomenal. Christy Robinette is one of the authors, Cindy Dale. I mean, they're with like 10 or 12 other authors, and we all came together to create this phenomenal exploration of like what it means to find your calm and peace in a really hectic, really super chaotic world right now. And so the techniques are all different. There's visualization, there's chakras, there's ASMR, there's EMDR, all the letters, all the acronyms, but there's a ton of really amazing techniques in there for really like tapping into and trying it out without having to like, pay hundreds of dollars to go try a thing. Read the book, see if the things work for you. If you're interested, then you can, so it's like an introductory experience to healing practices. Mm-hmm.
You guys, wealth of information in studio. Okay. And then Meditations and Tarot.
Yes.
This is going to be released in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you have a book coming out, and
Yeah.
you came out in November, and then you have that coming out in January. Tell us more.
Oh my gosh, Meditations for Tarot.
You've been keeping Llewellyn busy.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I love
it. Just is coming up. Yeah. So Meditations and Tarot, I kind of thought, well, okay, we're doing Meditations for Psychic Development. Let's do another meditations book, because this is really like my thing, my jam. It's a foundation. It's a great basis to grow from. And so combining meditation and tarot to me was a no-brainer. Tarot was like how I started practicing as a psychic, because it was a tool that was super comfortable. I'm a visual person. And so putting together meditation and tarot to me just made sense. So this book is just chock full of, there's a meditation you can use for every single major arcana card. Those of you that are tarot enthusiasts will know what I'm speaking about. You get a meditation for each of the suits of the tarot to help you really deepen your intimacy with the deck. It's a wonderful coach, guide, and counselor. So, yeah.
Do you have your own deck in the works?
I don't have my own deck in the works. I would love to create a deck. I know what a massive undertaking that is. So maybe down the road. Down the road.
That's okay. Little bubble that can just kind of float over here.
But I won't say that I have way too many decks. So I'm a deck junkie, and I love to collect decks. So yeah, there's so many beautiful tarot decks in the world. Yeah.
I love getting. I mean, and Llewellyn. This show is brought to you by Llewellyn. No, I'm just kidding. Hello. I love when Marcus and I have like update calls, and he sends me new decks, and I'm like, and I get so excited because I love a nice box. I love how you open it
they're
up.
So beautiful.
Then like when you have
Yes.
the ones I just got had like gold rimmed on the cards, and you feel them, and I'm like, oh my God, someone really, really loved, like, they're so proud of it. And it's just like, okay,
Putting
sorry.
their heart and soul into a thing that you can use. I call tarot the poetry of the universe.
That's an article for Edge magazine, by the way.
I call it the poetry of the universe because I think it's like it helps us tap the metaphysics of, and storytelling for our lives, for the moments we're living.
And you just play with them. I mean,
Yes.
I love, like, and then it's like when you're playing, and then all of a sudden this one card's like, hello, 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 hello.
Pay attention to me. Pay attention to me.
It's like, okay, I guess I'm going to pay attention to you. Okay. So we have our 4 books, The Meditations for Psychic Development, The Secret Psychic, that you're a guest author, Finding Your Calm. Check it out, you guys. And Meditations for Tarot, which is going to be available in January. You are also very busy with monthly Facebook Live events.
I'm going to tell you, I do a tarot and a monthly new moon zodiac tarot. Come find me on Facebook. I will always post the things.
What's your handle on Facebook?
It's Chanda Psych.
What's
my name?
I don't know. Like, you got to tell me.
You pronounce Chanda Parkinson Psychic. Thank you, Chanda Parkinson Psychic. Oh my Lord, Kelly, I caught your not being able to say names bug. Great. Thanks. That's what I got today.
My name is Kelly Wigner. I can say it all day long. Not it. Okay. Okay, so that's on Facebook.
Yes.
And then April 6th, you're going to have a day-long meditation and tarot retreat.
Yes.
Location TBD.
Yes, TBD. And just
Where
go
are you thinking?
to my events page. I really don't know where I thought it was going to be. It's not. And so go to my events page. My events keep changing. And so I've got a bunch of stuff coming up. My book party is going to be on January 20th at Midwest Training Healing.
Hi, Jody. I hope you're like listening and
I
watching.
wanted to put that plug because they are super supportive.
Which Jody is amazing.
Yeah.
Total friend of the show, friend of the Edge. I love her. Oh, yeah. That'll be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So just go to my website, check me out.
Check me out.
Try to pronounce my name.
Try to pronounce my name. Before the show, I'm like, okay, boobs are here. It's all good.
Everything's in place.
Everything's in place. We're in divine timing. Okay, so your website.
Chanda Parkinson.
Do you want to spell it?
Yes. If I can remember. ChandaParkinson.com.
Beautiful. And your handle on Instagram and Facebook is the same?
Yes. Chanda Parkinson Psychic. Thank you. And we're done.
And scene. We promise this is a big girl show. Well, I can't thank you enough for being on. I'm so.
This has been
This is
delightful.
great. Like,
Super
right?
fun.
It was totally worth the wait. Like,
It was definitely worth the wait.
and when the next book and all that, please come back to the
Yes,
show.
I will.
You're awesome.
Thank you. Have a great day, all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is Kelly from the Being Curious Show. Again, Brett, Brian's on assignment, right?
That is correct. On assignment. Mystery assignment.
Thanks for checking us out. Have an amazing day. Mahalo.